Hey fellow tennis nerds, I hope all is well. Today I have a little bit of a different video. It might sound stupid to some of you, which it is that I'm playing an ITF Masters tournament starting tomorrow on clay. So I'm warming up on a hard court. That's never really the best idea, but that's really what I wanted to play on today. So that's how it goes. And also I haven't made up my mind what racket to use. So that is a little bit what this session will be about. What do I feel can work for tomorrow's clay court tennis match? And there will be a few matches in the coming days. So I have 5 rackets with me, which all could fit the bill. And these are not super similar, but there are some interesting points to make about them. This is a PT57A. It's one of my favorite rackets of all time, 1820. So very low power. This is like a very low flex rating of like 58 without strings, I think. And so it's a very flexible racket. So many pros use this: Andy Murray, Gilles Simon, Tommy Haas. Poprin used to play with it. On the more modern players using Ilya Ivashka, Atlan Karatsev. Yeah, there's a bunch of players using the 7A. Problem with this racket, it's too low power for me. So I will have to generate a lot of power myself, which I don't really have the game for, especially not on clay. But I still like to hit with it from time to time. So this probably is a low chance of me choosing this one. The racket I played my previous tournament with was this one, the Radical MP. Also a low powered racket, but more of a blade style. It has a little bit more power, a little bit more spin thanks to the 16-19 pattern, 98 square inch head, while the PT57A has a 95 square inch head. So this one gives me a bit more for free, but it's still ultra controlled. So might still be a little bit not enough power. If you want to grind, if you want to play a lot of pushy tennis, maybe slice, sometimes that works. I fell into that in the last tournament. Then this racket could really be good, because then it gives you very good control, but you have some free pace. Then I have a racket that steps up a little bit in power that I used to play with a lot. This is the Oxetic version of the Extreme Tour. It's one of my favorite rackets, still is. When I did the review, I didn't like the Oxetic as much. Now I got a little bit better spec one. I feel like they're extremely close, so it's hard to estimate exactly which one is the best, but the swing weight of the specs I like usually are towards 330 strong swing weight, and this one gives me more power, more spin than a Radical. Just a tad more power and spin. Works a bit better on clay. It's a bit easier to generate pace with, but obviously you don't have the same control. So you're going to have a little bit of a higher launch angle, and means you need to put some more spin on the ball. For you spin players, this Extreme Tour is an interesting choice generally. And talking about spin, racket I've been playing and enjoying a lot. As you know, the Wilson Shift 300 grams, 1620 string pattern. This time strung with the MSV Swift. Needs a restring now. This string was very good. I really like it. Review to come about these MSV strings. But I really like the shift. Might be too much power for me in a match setting, because you usually tense up a bit more and you don't play as freely. I hope I can play more freely and just go for it this time around. But this one is a candidate for sure. So I'm going to hit a bit with that one, see if that's something I will bring in the bag to the tennis court tomorrow. And then last but not least, one racket I played my first ITF with, or at least second, was this, the Pure Aero, not 98, which is also a good racket, but this, the 300 gram. Feels a little bit less natural on my one-handed backhand, but I just like this racket a lot, which I said in my recent best spin racket video, whatever I called it. But that one you can check out, and you see some of the most popular spin rackets, which one might be the best for you. So I will play around a bit with these and give some thoughts at the end of the video, and we'll see how it goes. And then I'll try to pick at least 1 or 2 options to bring with me in my bag tomorrow when I play my first match. That's it for now. Okay, so I'm starting today with the PT57A. It's strung with the Solinka Hyper G Soft, around 22 kilos. Tough racket to use, but I like how it feels, how it sounds. All right, so we can conclude that this one is a bit too low powered. Even if you hit some good shots, it's not enough on it. So I'll try the Radical. It's a bit more power, it's a step up. It's not as nice in the field, to be fair, but it's some. I have to let my shots flow a bit. You taught me that. Yeah, this one is easier. Like you get more
Obviously not the same control, not at all the same feel. I would say I miss that old head feel in these new rackets. But it's still a good racket, like it still gives you what you put in. Just that sensation is not with the flex. We feel like there's a pocketing effect. They don't pocket ball quite as well, these new radicals. Got a bit more. Nice, good shot, man. Go for it. But if you compare power level, you can see 95 here. Thinner beam. This is a little bit thicker, a little bit bigger, more open pattern. So this is where all the power difference, which is not a huge one, but it's significant anyway, comes from. This is obviously a painted racket. It's not actually a Prestige. It's a Head Pro Tour, and this one is the Radical Standard, no Pro Stocks. Yeah, so now it's time to go to the Extreme Tour. A bit more power. Kind of like to feel a bit better than the Radical. I don't know, it's a tough choice, but they are very similar, obviously. 98 square inches, 1619. This one has a little bit more aerodynamic profile, which you can see here. So if you have a Radical and you have a Extreme Tour, they're both 1619, 98 square inches. They're quite similar in beam, although this is a little bit thicker, a little bit more aerodynamically designed, but it's not much. As you can see, the throat is a bit different. This is more traditional. This is a little bit more like an Aero or whatever, you know. You have this supposed to help with the more vertical movement like this, the spin movement. Yeah, so I'll try this one, see how much extra power spin I get. These are about the same stiffness as well, so it's very tough sometimes to make up your mind what is what, especially with head, where they have so many rackets. So yeah, go for a bit much, but try to get more spin on it. You get a little bit more, but no crazy power. It's probably why people like the Aero of 98, you know, it's because they feel like they can have a little bit extra stuff for free, you know, nothing crazy. All right. All right. Yeah, so Daniel pointed out that I thought my swing looked a bit extra weird with the Extreme Tour. No customized, no weight really. And that might be affecting. And that's why it's always good to get someone to give you feedback. Like, well, how does your ball feel with this racket? How does it affect you seen from someone else? If it's a coach, great. But also your hitting partner can work. Nice. Very good. Nice. Yeah, so the Aero, obviously more power. Always struggle with the one-hander. Said that before, but obviously the power is nice, and also this Aero is the most comfortable one. I talked well about this racket before, so don't need to get into it. Watch my previous videos. Yeah, well, beautiful. Better hitting. I feel most at home with this. Not customized, 300-gram shift, easy power, but still a decent sweet spot. So feel quite at home with this one. Not 100% on the one-hander, but that's my one-hander, not the racket. So yeah, I think this will go with this one with the Radical as the backup, since I used that in the previous tournament. I think that is my conclusion. I hope you like this video. Sorry for all the panting, but this is how it is when you play tennis with a mic.
So this was my first match in the tournament, and it turned out to be the important one. I lost this one and then won the second one, but that was pointless. So it was a little bit of a weird tournament, this ITF at the Royal Tennis Club. So I started with the shift and I couldn't find any control really. I tried a new string. Maybe that was not the best idea. Nicky told me that beforehand, but this is a tennis nerd's crazy tale. So I went back after like the first set where I played horribly. You can see full match highlights and stuff on my Patreon, so please join that, by the way. I played better with the Radical. I had it strung with Hawk Power, which I really like, and I could find my targets a bit more, but I lost a lot of
a lot of confidence in my game just playing with a slightly unfamiliar racket, at least in match play. I mean, I really like the shift a lot, but I am usually more happy with control frames when it comes down to match play. That's usually where I play my best, and I did use the Radical MP in my latest tournament for that reason. The one before this one in Malaga. That went well for me. So that was a learning, and it's just never-ending learnings with Mr. Tennis Nerd here. He never learns, but this is a part of the game, I think, and a part of how I can keep testing rackets and stuff, because if I just play with one, it might be tough. But with the Radical, I played well. I still lost the match. It was a long and tricky one, a long third set, and kudos to my opponent for playing well. And the next match I won fairly easily, but with the Prestige MP. And I went back to the lowest power possible. My customized old Prestige MP, the red one from 2019. I still have a very soft spot for that one, so when I feel unsure of myself and my tennis, this one usually comes and saves the day. So I actually used that frame in my training set today with my buddy Siad that you can see here, and it felt better, although I didn't get any power and serve. So you can see this chase can be endless, but it's part of the fun, right? So for more of this type of personal stuff and my musings, check out my Patreon, and thanks to all you patrons for supporting me. That's all for today. Have a nice day, and don't forget to play some tennis.